Hell yeah, I finished recording a minute ago and I just missed today's dump truck, boys. We did it, gamers. Woo! Hey guys, good morning. Welcome to episode 32, I think it is. It's actually been a bit of time since I did a recording, about a week. Usually I'm ahead a few episodes with this series, so I can keep the every 2 days going. But this is a special case in that this one I'm actually recording on the day, so I'm going to try and get this done, hit about the 10-minute mark that I've been happy with, and upload it today, and hopefully have a few days in a row where I can just get videos out so that I've got a bit of a buffer again. I've been having a lot of trouble sleeping. I actually think I'm going to see a sleep clinic of sorts to sort out the possibility of my sleep apnea. In terms of progress, it's another episode of kind of bits and pieces. I'm going to start actually with my Photoshop document again, where I've been doing UIs. First one, I've been working on a shop interface here. So you'd talk to the NPC and you'd say, yes, I want to see what you got. And you'd come up with something like this. 3 options: buy, sell, and deals. Buy and sell are pretty typical, right? Each shop will have their inventory that lists out like this. That's kind of like the item list we already have, but we need a bit more detail, such as the purchase price, how many items we have, and the option to buy multiple. I quite like Dragon Quest 11, the recent one's way of doing shopping, where you can like choose all the quantities, and then it's when you hit select you buy them all at once. Maybe I should have a dynamic value somewhere that tells you what the total price is going to be before you have selected all of them, but yeah, whatever. Sell items, the same, it'll just have your list of items instead, and you'll sell them probably at a quarter price. And deals are more like how Diablo and Path of Exile do their shops, where the items can be rolled, so they can be higher rarity equipment, so they've got random affixes. They'll have a higher price based on the rarity and the quality of the mods, and you might get lucky or you might get unlucky. And in those games, the way the shops work is that I believe in Diablo 2 you could enter and leave the area and it would generate a new list of stuff. Path of Exile, I believe the stock changes as you level up. I don't know if there's anything else that triggers the stock to change, but for my game, I actually think deals won't update at all. Each shop will have its one deal page, and that will be consistent, and you get what you get. Because if you think of my game structured like Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest is a big massive playthrough, that probably sounds a bit silly. You could get really bad luck, you could drain the deals of all the shops and then there's no more. But I'm developing this with randomization and replayability in mind, so I actually think that gives extra reason to go and hunt down maybe rarer vendors that even though on their typical stock there might be nothing you want, be worth checking out what deals they have. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited to get the shop thing going. Obviously when you're hovering over the weapons, if applicable, we need comparison windows here. It's quite tight if I stack them 5 like this. What we're comparing here is, if we're hovering over weapons, for instance, then for each of our characters it will have their weapon and their weapon name. It's not perfect because, an upgraded Steel 8 will have varying properties that you won't really be able to see here. And I don't really think there's a good way. Oh, of course, I should mention that if we haven't selected an item, I might have it in here actually. Instead of confirm buy, it's got it's hovering the current item we've got. There's no easy way to compare the weapon, the item against all of the characters, unless I had like a sub menu where you choose the character you're buying for first, but I didn't really want to do that. So instead, for comparisons, the first stat value will generally be the core, so if the damage or the armor is upgrading, then it'll show that. Maybe I can show another value if it's got a sub value, but then if it's got multiple sub values, then I won't be able to show multiple. So maybe I won't have 2 lines like I do here, maybe it'll just be the one. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking for now. And that's the shop interface. The other interface I've been working on is a post screen for battles. So when you win a battle, you're rewarded experience, gold, and possibly items. So I'm thinking something like this. I can keep it doesn't have to be like a full new transition. I can keep it in the post battle like this, have a little concise window for the standard rewards, and then if there is treasure or if there isn't, I can list it here, and I can dynamically increase the size of the box, easy peasy. Originally I was going to do like kind of like how we had in the shop, the 5 stack with changes in level if there is any, and the experience till the next level. But I'm thinking because the characters are already lined up here and we're not using that much room, maybe I can dispense with this frame. Imagine that the values are actually in the frame, of course, but I can maybe dispense with the frame and just have the information line up here. But yeah, it's very bare, so I don't think I'll have problems scaling any other additional information you might need here, but yeah, something like that, that'd be cool. So those are the interface stuff I've been working on. I'm going to show you my limited implementation of such things. Cool, so here I am. I'm going to talk to this guy. I think this guy's got new text. Yep, very inspiring. I believe the text still cuts off the last character, so that's something that I'm going to have to do. So it does a number of texts. You could see that that last text was very short before it jumped to this one, and that those changes were detailed in the previous one, trying to cut up the text. Now this is a new form of text where it gives me a yes or no option. Pretty typical. And so I'll start by selecting no, so then it goes answer. It's meant to be no, but it's cut off, of course, and then it ends after that. But if I talk to him again, skip back to here, and then I go yes, ooh, opens up a shop. And you can see my partial implementation of what we've got. I believe buy is the only one that progresses. Ding! And you can see here a list of stuff. It's missing the additional information. You can see I've started to use a more icons, so like I'm prefixing the price and how many you have in your inventory with these little icons. I think that's neat. But that stuff doesn't reflect here just yet. It just lists the items as they already were. This should be down here, correct? Yeah, I think the height of here is the exact height that the other item list and equipment lists are currently when they're like up here in the menu. And so if I move that, ideally this will move down here, and I'll probably make this one item shorter, as I've got laid out there. These items are basically just, if I go to my object loading script, you can see here I've detailed the text. So NPCs, as well as the dialogue object, they also have a shop object, and after I give him a shop object, I'm literally just looping through all of my items bar the null one at the end, and I'm just giving them the item. So the items have to be instantiated, they're all objects. Good, they don't need to stack or anything because it's a shop, he doesn't have quantity. The deals, well, yeah, even in the deals it won't need it because, I mean, he'll only have one of each, potentially. I don't know, however I work it. But yeah, selecting any of these items does nothing just yet, so this is very much in progress. But then when I cancel out of this, answer ye, it resumes the text talking, so there might be like a goodbye afterwards or whatever. So a lot of the programming work's just been more controls. Another subtle thing I did was when you talk to him, just like when you open the menu, the NPCs and stuff still walk around. That wasn't happening before. In the talk state it was freezing everything. Yeah, I think that's it in terms of progress. On the coding front, there's not too much to talk about. It's not too sophisticated, my branching dialogue options. First of all, it can only be yes or no. I don't really have an interest in any more dialogue options or customized dialogue messages because I want to go with an older style feel where you don't, I like the older style feel where you don't have too much agency over the story. You're kind of just exposed to the narrative, for instance. You don't have to worry about the consequences of your choices. And in general, I want to keep the dialogue, very simple, very straightforward. I don't want huge scenes of talking and cutscene and stuff like that. Yeah, so the way the yes and no works is simply, if you see I've got add text and then I've got add text end, and text end means once this dialogue's progress past, it will exit out of the talking, which would have happened automatically if we got to the end of the dialogue, but now we can force it at different points. And then also with add text, dialogue add text shop, that takes one extra argument, the 3 here, and that when we return to the dialogue, 3 is the index of dialogue that we're going to restart from, which takes us to here because it's 0, 1, 2, 3. very simple right now. Probably as we add a lot more dialogue, I will need more sophisticated controls, just because if I have lots of these like magic dialogue indexes and long dialogue chains, it might become like a massive pain to work through. It might be a better idea to have the dialogue externally and to give the NPCs and objects indexes that references that external file and then read them in. But I like to try and keep all the data within the project itself. But yeah, we'll see what we need. I also have, as well as dialogue add text shop, I have a simple yes or no, which does the same as this, but it doesn't cut to the shop interface. Cool, that's what I've done. So the next episode will probably just be the results of me implementing this stuff and the Battle Wind stuff. So next episode is going to be hype. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that the projects you guys are working on, I hope they're going good, man. It's tough, but it's worth it. See you later.